Creating a quiz with Educaplay is as easy as writing the questions and their answers. You can also give a title to Ray, your assistant powered by artificial intelligence, and let it do the work for you. You can choose the game mode, which corrects each question right after the answer, or the exam mode, which corrects the whole quiz after it is submitted. Depending on the question, as a player you answer it choosing an option, more than one, or typing the answer. If you want a plus of excitement, you can set a time limit for each question or a maximum number of lives. Let's go! First step, click New Activity, choose Quiz, and register or login if you haven't done so yet. Once inside the editor, the easiest way to start creating your quiz is giving Ray a title so he creates it for you. Thanks to the artificial intelligence, Ray will create questions about the subject you provided, and 4 answers for each of them, among which the player will have to choose the correct one. Ray will leave the game ready for you to publish after you add, remove or change whatever you want. You can also give Ray a piece of text to create the quiz from its content. If you want to create the game manually, introduce the questions and answers with text, pictures, audios, or videos. You have lots of other options to set your quiz, and we will go over them in a minute. However, this is all you need to create it. If you go to the Info tab, write a title and a description, and press the Publish button, your quiz is ready to be played. If you want to give your players more or less than 4 answers to choose, you can add or remove them. By default, players can choose one answer, but when you mark more than one as correct, multiple selection is automatically activated. With multiple selection turned on, players can choose more than one. This option has automatic behavior by default, but it stops having it when you change it manually. If you mark more than one answer as correct and multiple selection is disabled, players will get all the score if they choose any of the correct answers. On the contrary, if you only mark one correct answer and multiple selection is enabled, players will have the option to choose more than one, but to get all the score, they will have to choose only the correct one. If you want players to type the correct answer instead of choosing from several options, activate the Written Answer option. You can add more than one correct option. In the feedback field, you can add text that the player will see after answering the question. In the Options tab, the first one you find is Mode, which can be Game or Exam. In Game mode, each question is corrected right after you answer it. In Exam mode, on the other hand, the questions are not corrected until the Submit button is pressed. And until players do so, they can navigate through the questions and change the answers they want. Exam mode has the extra option Subtract points for each wrong answer, with which you can set a point penalty for each question you miss. Feedback always appears in the Resolve section at the end. In Game mode, it also appears right after missing a question, unless you enable the option Feedback only at the end. In Game mode, you can enable the Lives option, which sets a maximum number of mistakes that can be made before the game ends. You can also set a maximum time to answer each question. In Exam mode, the time will be multiplied by the number of questions and will be a total time. The Define Number of Questions option allows you to create a large repository of questions from which a random selection will be taken in each game. By default, questions appear in the order in which they appear in the editor, but with this option you can set them to appear in random order. If you activate Case and Accent Sensitive, in questions with written answers, those with errors related to capital letters, lowercase, and accents will be counted as incorrect. With any advanced academic or commercial plan, you can use advanced options such as setting a background image, setting the game as private, showing a message when players pass the activity, or not showing them the correct answers when they finish. If you have a commercial plan, you can also customize the game with your logos and your corporate colors. You are almost there. Next, go to the Information tab, where you can change the language of the activity interface and write the title and description. If you want, you can also choose where the activity is located in your educational system. You can also tag your activity to make it easier to classify. You can separate your tags with commas or pressing Enter. When your activity is ready to be published, you'll just have to click the Publish button. Once your activity is published, a screen will appear from which you can do many things. You can keep on creating activities, you can check the one you just created, you can get the link to share it, you can publish it in Google Classroom or other platforms, you can create a challenge with it, or you can keep on editing it. You can do all of this whenever you want. Just go to your profile and click the buttons below the activity.